It's the 2019 Bowl Extravaganza. Picks of all of the major bowls, including the Christmas present / birthday present to myself, which will be the Peach Bowl, part of the college football playoff, and the New Year's Six Bowl between Oklahoma and LSU, and the other, Clemson and Ohio State from the Fiesta Bowl in Tempe. All of them. Pick them all. I'm going to do it next. Boomer Sooner 1982. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show, everybody. My name's Harry James. Let's get the big Bowl Extravaganza 2019 started in Big 12 play, where on the 27th, that's a Friday, that's when it all starts for the Big 12 Conference, down in Houston, as part of the Texas Bowl, Okie State and the Aggies will take on another former Big 12 team, and another former Aggie, or current Aggie of Texas A&M, although he will play them in Houston as part of the Texas Bowl. I'm actually going to take A&M. It'll be a little bit closer for the Aggies. They're Aggies in that, so take that one. That's the 27th. The 28th, two Big 12 Bowls. We will start in the Camping World Bowl. That game will be on ABC. Notre Dame and Iowa State. I'm gonna pick Notre Dame in this ball game, just in the fact that I think that Notre Dame just has better talent than Iowa State. But don't take Iowa State lightly, Notre Dame fans. They can give you a game for your money, a money shot for you. Proving that fact, the next game on the list, one of them that they gave a pretty good shot in the arm to, Oklahoma. And my Sooners, I'll be there as a kind of birthday / Christmas present to myself in Atlanta, Georgia, the Peach Bowl on ESPN. That game will be at 3 o'clock and is part of the New Year's Six Bowl and the college football playoffs. Game 1. That's Friday. That's Saturday. The 31st is when they'll get started again. Two pretty good teams, Navy and Kansas State. It's part of the Liberty Bowl on ESPN. I'm going to go with Navy in this one. I really like what Navy does offensively, more than what Kansas State can do offensively. Navy's used to seeing it, so look for Navy to win the game. That night, that game will be at 2:45, 6:30 that night. Utah and Texas will be in the Alamo Bowl. That game, ESPN. And I'm going to take Texas. The game will be played in South Texas. A little bit more of a home field for Texas. And plus, it's a big game for Texas. It's a ranked opponent for Texas. They play better against ranked opponents. Texas does for Tom Herman, whether you like it or not. I'm going to go Texas. And that will bring us to New Year's. And part of the New Year's Six Bowls on New Year's Day. Georgia and Baylor, part of the Sugar Bowl. That game will be at 7:45. And if you're asking me, I'm going to pick Baylor. They played really well against Oklahoma in 2 games. When Georgia has had to play well, they lost to South Carolina and they lost to LSU. Now, when they lost to LSU, they are playing my Sooners in the national championship, but they kind of did get a little hand drummed in there, a little hit to the curb there a little bit, brought down to earth. Baylor Really didn't need to be brought back down to earth by that much, losing by 3 points and later a touchdown in overtime, 2 by Sooners. So I'm going to take Baylor in this one, even though it's going to be played in SEC country in New Orleans as part of the Sugar Bowl. I'm still going to take the Bears. All right, that's the Big 12 games. The national games. What about this one, guys? December the 20th at 1 o'clock p.m., Buffalo and Charlotte in the Bahamas Bowl, ESPN. I'm going to take Buffalo in that one. 6:30 that night in the Frisco Bowl, you'll see Utah State and Kent State. I'm going to take the Utah State and the Aggies. Though they're Aggies. 21st at 1 o'clock, Central Michigan at and San Diego State, part of the New Mexico Bowl. I'm going to take San Diego State. I think that their team will travel there a little bit better than the Central Michigan people, in that they it's a little closer for that one. 1:30 that afternoon, Liberty and Georgia Southern, the Cure Bowl on CBS Sports. I'm taking Georgia Southern. Kind of a weird offense to prepare for them, so look for that. 2:30 the Baca Baton Bowl. Back-on Raton Bowl on ABC, I'm sorry. SMU and FAU, Southern Methodist and Florida Atlantic. I'm going to actually take SMU, even though it is kind of a home game for them. I think that Lane Kiffin leaving for Ole Miss is going to kind of be a distraction there. So look for that one. 4:30 that afternoon, another Florida team, Florida International, will and Arkansas State in the Camella Bowl. Arkansas State's going to win that one. 4:30, ESPN. ABC, 6:30 that night from Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Bowl, Boise and Washington State. I'm going to go with Boise State. How will Washington play under the former Boise, no longer the former Boise State head coach? So that's kind of a distraction there, playing his old team also. So look for Boise State to kind of take advantage of both of those scenarios. And at 8 o'clock in the New Orleans Bowl, Appalachian State and University of Alabama Birmingham, ESPN, I'm going to go with Appalachian State. Like I talked about, my birthday is coming up. That's why I'm going to treat myself and go out to the Peach Bowl. That will be on December the 23rd. Also on December the 23rd, our old buddy Josh Heupel, Central Florida, and Marshall will play in their bowl game, the Gasparilla Bowl, ESPN. I'm going to go with UCF. That game will be at 1:30 on 12/23. One final one before Christmas. That's New Year's Eve and the Hawaii Bowl. Hawaii and Brigham Young, ESPN. I'm going to go with Hawaii. I think that the distraction of Christmas and Christmas Eve and not being able to travel and wanting to go see family for the Brigham Young people. Hawaii people don't really want to go home. If they want to go home, they can stay home. Go to the bowl game. I think that's really going to affect this bowl game. So, but Brigham Young, I think, has enough talent there to get it done. With all that being said, so give me Brigham Young, but look for, again, closer than the experts may think. And maybe even the home field advantage will take advantage. Then have Christmas. Nobody plays on Christmas. Play the day after Christmas on 12/26. That one will be Louisiana Tech and Miami of Florida. That game will be at 7 o'clock. The Independence Bowl. That game will be on ESPN. I'm going to go with Miami of Florida. And then Pittsburgh and Eastern Michigan. The Quick Lane Bowl, ESPN 2, 7 o'clock. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. 12/27, the Military Bowl, University of North Carolina and Temple, ESPN. I'm going to go with our old buddy, McBrown in North Carolina. And that would also Wake Forest and Michigan State and Wake Forest as part of the Pinstripe Bowl. All the way out in New York, ESPN. I'm going to go with Michigan State. What about the Holiday Bowl at 7 o'clock? That one will be between USC and Iowa. The Holiday Bowl, that game will be on FS1. I'm going to take Iowa. Iowa, the Hawkeyes. Bob's old team, Bob Stoops' old team. Then the Pac-12 After Dark game. Pretty interesting game here at 9:15, guys. Air Force and Washington State. Two very different kind of teams will play in the Cheez-It Bowl. And you know who's going to be smiling with a lot of the cheese on his face? Well, you know who it's going to be. The crazy dude, Mike Leach. Gotta go with Mike Leach. Till he can win, until he can, I mean, he can obviously beat the small teams. He's got to beat the good teams. Air Force kind of a small team. No offense. All right, so after that one, you'll take a day. We'll move on to the 28th, where at 11 a.m., Memphis and Penn State in the Cotton Bowl, part of the New Year's Six Bowls, ESPN. I'm going to take Penn State in that one. So that's going to happen. Also part of the New Year's Six Bowl, 7 o'clock, Clemson and Ohio State, the other semifinal game in Arizona, part of the New Year's Six Bowls, college football playoff, and will be on the ESPN. And I'm going to go OH! Oh, Buckeyes! Look for them to kind of crawl away with this one. Clemson can keep it close, though. Look for Clemson to keep it close. Then we'll take the day off, and we'll till 12:30. After 12:28, we'll go to 12:30. Western Kentucky and Western Michigan in the First Responders Bowl. Western Michigan in the 11:30 a.m. kit. Give me that one. Then at a 3 o'clock tip, you got two bowl games on ESPN and on Fox. The ESPN game, Mississippi State and Louisville from the Music City Bowl. Give me Mississippi State. And then a part of the Red Box Bowl on Big Fox. Cal Berkeley and Illinois. Look for Berkeley to win that one. And then at 7 o'clock, ESPN, also part of the New Year's Six Bowls. Florida and Virginia. Give me Florida and the Gators. I like the way that Virginia played there a little bit, but in the end, I think that Florida is a little bit of a better team. Then we'll go to New Year's Eve, 12:31, Virginia Tech and Kentucky. That game will be the Belk Bowl on ESPN. And as much as I love the Stoops boys, Bob, Mark, and Mike, I got to go with our buddy Justin Fuente, the former OU quarterback. And for no other reason, guys, it will be Bud Foster, his defensive coordinator. It'll be his final game as an assistant. So Virginia Tech is who I'm going to take in that one at 11 a.m. With the 1 o'clock game there, Florida State and Arizona State will be in the Sun Bowl. That game will be on CBS. I'm going to take Arizona State. New Year's Day will be Minnesota and Auburn. It's part of the Outback Bowl. That game will be at 12 o'clock on ESPN. I'm going to go with Minnesota. I really like the way that they played late. This one, guys. 12 o'clock, ESPN. Strange not to be calling this team in the college football playoff. Michigan, and Alabama. In the Citrus Bowl on ABC. I'm going to go with Alabama. I think that they're going to be a little bit more motivated in this game than Mr. Khakis and Jim Harbaugh. So look for that one to be good there. Final game there is 3:30 game on the docket. Wyoming at Georgia Southern in the Arizona Bowl, CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with Wyoming. And a New Year's Six Bowl at 4 o'clock. The Rose Bowl with Oregon and Wisconsin and the Badgers. ESPN, 4 o'clock. I'm going to go with Wisconsin and the Badgers. On the second, BC, that's Boston College and Cincinnati, will be in the Birmingham Bowl, ESPN. I'm going to go with Cincinnati. 6 o'clock p.m., the Gator Bowl, back on ESPN. That game between Indiana and Tennessee. Give me the boys from Knoxville in Tennessee. 1-3, the third. Regular, plain Ohio, and Nevada will be in the Idaho Potato Bowl. I'm going to go with Ohio in that one. The fourth will be at 10:30 a.m. Southern Miss and Tulane as part of the Armed Forces Bowl. I'm going to go with Tulane. And finally, the Lending Tree Bowl, 1-6 on the 6th of January. Missouri, Louisiana, and Miami of Ohio. Give me Louisiana. All right, guys, that's all the picks that I have. If you want to see my pre-games, my post-games, my basketball reports on OU, any of it, you can check it all out on the YouTubes. Boomer Sooner 1982 on the interwebs. Also, Facebook has them. That's Facebook is Harry James Taylor on Facebook, or on Twitter at Hypeman Harry. All right, guys, thanks for watching and enjoy the Bowl Extravaganza, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.